Hey, what's up, family? What's up? What's up? This is TC Allen, as you know, and welcome to the TC Allen Show. And today I have a special guest all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. She's a powerhouse. When I tell you this young lady is a beast when it comes to her business and real estate. She has the largest woman black owned brokerage here in Atlanta, and she's the youngest in the U.S. to own a brokerage, and she has over 50 agents, 50 plus agents that work with her. And so I want to pick her brain today. I want to talk about some things about her life, about her legacy, about her family and her business, and how she made it through the pandemic, and some things that she has gone on that is absolutely phenomenal. She has partnerships going on, and she has some other things too. And I want her to give you some tips, tools, and some resources to help you. Yes, you. I'm talking to women today because I want to target women in business and let them know that you're not left behind. As a matter of fact, y'all running things in so many ways. And I want her to encourage you to know that you can do it. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what's going on, that you're a single mother or what the circumstances in your life. I want you to know that you can do it. You can make it. So I have her here today to encourage you, to lift you up, and give you some things within business strategy, tactics that she used throughout her life in business. It's about 4 years ago, she launched out her business, and it has taken off by by leaps and bounds. Listen, you want to tune in. Like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, and connect with us on YouTube. And listen, share this feed with someone. Let them know that they want to be on today, because we have a powerhouse on live TV with TC Allen, and they want to tune in to get these tips, tools, and these strategies that this young woman have. Listen, you don't want to miss her. It's going to be phenomenal. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Kid old enough for money but too young to deal with a checking account? Oh, and you don't really want to deal with cash? You need the Cube Kid Card. Reload right from your bank account, set parameters, and spend just like a normal debit card. If the card is lost, no problem. Without the app, the balance is zero. Get yours at cubemoney.io.
Flipping assets. What are the best assets to flip? Needless to say, residential real estate. You focus on the market, find the values, find the opportunities to get properties below market. You got credit lines, you got some savings, use it. Get a property below value, flip it as quickly as you can, right after you rehab it, any way you can. That's gonna build your cash reserves. As soon as you flip properties, the next step, learn how to reduce taxes. There are ways to use structures and jurisdictions like what I've done with Puerto Rico to reduce your taxes tremendously. That's going to be the biggest push in your life. It's going to lead you into the next step, which is going to be buy and hold. That's when you get properties at market value or slightly below, bring in a tenant, increase the value. That's going to take you to another level completely, because now you're holding for income stream. All your work has residual value. Your life takes another level.
Is yours truly, Dr. Eddie. Listen, it's official, like a referee with a whistle. My new book, Relationship Rules, is everywhere, y'all. And I'm empowering you to build healthy relationships, but also purposeful partnerships. You can do that. I want to show you how to do that simply by going to Amazon. Go to Barnes & Noble. Go to dreddieacademy.com/book to get a signed copy. I'm empowering you to win in the areas of love, leadership, and leveraging your purpose. It's all about the book Relationship Rules, because relationship rules.
Are you suffering from fear and anxiety? The Allen Counseling Clinic is here to help. Our goal is to help you grow from your struggles, heal from your pain, overcome your fears, and get the relief from your anxiety. Call now. Area code 424-295-6227. Telehealth is now available.
Hi CEOs, my name is Denise Williams and I am so excited. I am sitting here at Kimbrough Law about to close on a multi-million-dollar real estate transaction with our strategic partner. I'm so excited for my clients. They're purchasing a beautiful mansion in the heart of Buckhead. Can't wait for them to get closed. If you're looking to also purchase a property or even sell a property, give me a call at 404-372-3440 or send me an email at denise@williamsandcorealty.com. I look forward to serving you soon. Bye-bye.
And welcome to the TC Allen Show, my queen, boss lady,
Yes, thank
Denise
you so much
Williams.
for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you so much for
God.
being on the show. You are absolutely phenomenal, awesome. Thank you for your time, for accepting an invite and coming up on the show to bless us with the tips, tools, and resources you have for us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Thank you. Well, tell us about yourself. What's your background? Tell us a little bit about where you come and your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know why so many people, when they meet me, they just automatically assume that I am from Atlanta, Georgia. Well, I'm actually from the small island, exotic island, I might say, of Hinesville, Georgia. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. But no, I am from the country. I'm from Hinesville, Georgia. I'm one of 6. And I wouldn't have it any other way because the way that I was raised was truly humble beginnings. And to be where I am today has been completely mind-blowing and an inspiration to so many. Sometimes it's an out-of-body experience to hear people talk about some of the things that I've accomplished, such as being, who I am in the real estate industry and having the largest Black woman-owned brokerage in Atlanta is truly a phenomenal accomplishment. And to have been doing that and being in that position for the past year is truly, truly amazing. Educationally, I have a background in finance. I graduated from Valdosta State University in 2011, pledged Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So my sorors out there, I know this is for the women, so shout out to you. And then I also went back to school and obtained 2 MBA degrees, one in international business and the other in supply chain management from Clayton State University as well. And then personally, I am a mother to a young son who's 12. He's also my business partner, my right-hand man, Mr. Destin. He has been a part of this journey with me for 12 years, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's powerful. I want to piggyback on what you just said. Not only do you have a degree in finance, you have a dual degree, MBA. Tell us about that. How did you make it through that dual MBA?
So when I graduated from college, in my generation, now it's becoming a lot more education surrounding entrepreneurship, right? But when I went to college, the theme was to go to college, get a good job, and et cetera, et cetera. We've all heard that story before. And so when I went on that journey, I felt like I checked all the boxes. I graduated with a degree that wasn't general studies, something very specific. You would think that it would have been easy to find a job. Well, that just wasn't my story. And so for me, I was like, okay, I have to find something that's going to be better, that I need flexibility, I need financial security, I need freedom. And real estate was that outlet for me after doing my research in the industry. And so, however, for me, I am someone who wasn't necessarily a risk taker all the way back then. So I was like, well, maybe I should still continue my education while I also pursue this entrepreneurship journey. We saw what happened in 2008, 2009. I'm like, okay, if that were to happen again as I pursue this real estate career, if I want to go back to corporate America for any reason, I already have that educational experience in my back pocket. So if I need to pull it out, then I'll be ready to go. Because one thing about me, once you get a taste of caviar, you don't want to go back to, tuna in a can. So I want to maintain that level of lifestyle regardless of what may happen in any industry. And so that was what prompted me to go back to school and pursue a higher education.
I tell people all the time, once you're exposed to something, it's hard to go back.
It's hard to go back.
I have a book that's coming out called The Gift of Exposure. And I
Oh,
show
nice.
people how exposure will lift you up to a whole nother level. And once your mind
Change your life.
expands, it will change your life. And so
Absolutely.
that's awesome. So how did you get involved in real estate?
So I actually got my real estate license right before I decided to go back to school. So just again, going back to not having the great experience in corporate America. So I was working for a title pawn company, and I would help people to pawn their title, their car title.
Wow.
And obviously it's a very predatory industry, especially in our culture. So every day that I would go to work, I would have individuals come in and spending their last or giving their last dollar. You know, we already have an issue with ownership in our community. And sometimes a vehicle may be the only thing that they own, yet they're coming in to pawn that for sometimes a cheap thrill. Some people have pawned their cars for a birthday trip out of the country, up to senior citizens just trying to survive. And so for me, I really felt like I was doing a disservice. I wasn't using the skills and talents that God had given me. And I felt like I was also hurting my culture, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And so I had to find something where I could actually help empower people, help people own things, help people to actually make great financial decisions versus going to repo their vehicle if they missed the payment. And so that was what inspired me to get back online, figure out another industry to work with. And then when I realized real estate gave me the flexibility to wear my hair how I wanted to wear my hair, I could wear what clothes I wanted to wear. I'm like, oh, I could be cute at work. Oh, you saw I'm so.
You was worried about being cute, huh?
I was worried about being cute. Listen.
So where did you go from there to start getting your real estate experience, becoming an agent?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started at KW.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually a beautiful experience for me because I actually hit it off with the team leader at the time. She absolutely loved me. She took me under her wing, and I became an employee for them while also being an agent. So
Wow.
That's what's so unique about my background versus a lot of other agents in the industry was the fact that I got to see how Keller Williams was run from the inside out. So not only was I able to sell real estate, I was also able to see, you know, what these teams are doing, how Keller Williams is recruiting, how are they running their accounting department, what marketing strategies do they have, how are they building their preferred partner list. So during this whole experience, I'm just taking note, like we have over 200 agents in this office, right? And every single day there are checks and closings coming in. The agent's name would change on every single check. However, Keller Williams would also be on every check. So guess who's getting paid every single time? And so I was like, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong side of real estate. I want to be the Keller Williams. I want to be the one who is getting a percentage of every transaction that comes through the door, not just my own individual checks. And so that's what inspired me to being on the fast track of becoming a broker. You might notice a lot of people in our industry never get their broker license. Well, for me, it was very important because that leverage was going to give me the freedom that I know I wanted to have, as well as the finances without having to work as hard.
So you were ready to say, listen, it's too much money left on the table. As an agent, I need to become a boss. I need to become a broker, not only just to get the bag, but also be in a position to help other agents. Talk about that.
Yes, absolutely. So being a real estate brokerage is a very selfless position to put yourself in. You have to be ready to lose money. You know, I could sell more real estate if I chose not to be a broker, because my job now is to train, is to position my team to win, is to put them in a position to earn more. You know, I have to train. Let me explain to your audience what the difference between an agent and a broker actually is, because a lot of people don't understand what that means. So as a real estate professional, you cannot practice real estate without being affiliated with a broker. So I am an independent brokerage owner, where you might see some of the franchises like KW, I mentioned, Coldwell Banker, Berkshire Hathaway, those are franchises. So I'm an independent brokerage owner. But as a real estate agent, you do not have the ability to hire agents under your umbrella. Now, you may see that there are agents who have started teams, but ultimately they're still under that brokerage's umbrella. So the benefit to becoming a broker, not just staying an agent. So you have to, in the state of Georgia, you have to become an agent for 3 years before you can actually become a broker and start and open your own business. So for me, I decided to open my own business so that I could bring other people under me. Yes, for the leverage of the commission income, but I also want people to understand that there are pros and cons to every decision that you make, right? The pros, we keep talking about the leverage and the income and the money, which is great, right? But you might also notice that a lot of people don't go that route because of the liability. So, the greater the reward, sometimes the greater the risk. So I have all these agents that are working under my license. So if there is something that happens, if my company is or an agent is sued, my company can get pulled into that litigation. If a customer is upset, I'm going to have to deal with that customer, because technically every transaction that happens through my firm is my transaction. It's just passed through the agents that work on my team. So we have a structure in which, they get a percentage of the deal as well as the brokerage gets a percentage of the deal. But primarily what my day-to-day looks like is constantly, recruiting agents to my team. I can have more agents, but honestly, I really like to hire quality over quantity. Even though quantity is also important because it's a numbers game in real estate. To me, when you're dealing with other people, you have to also hire for personality. And for me, I'm so big on my culture. My company culture is phenomenal. If you follow me on social media, you'll see I post my team all the time. We have a good time because that's also important in sales. It's so stressful. It's so many moving parts. You have to be able to balance it all. And so team building is something that I'm very, very passionate about. Like, I just took my team out to Top Golf, all expenses covered. We're having a company anniversary party on the 17th. I try to do a lot of things differently to keep motivated.
Can I be a part of all that? I can take out the trash, be a part of the team. You sound like you're giving good gifts and leading well. That's what I like. Just not owning a company, not just being the boss, but you're leading well and teaching your people and helping your people cultivate the people that you lead, and that's wonderful. Hats off to you, because there's not a lot of leaders, bosses, and business owners that do that. They just lead their people to fend for themselves, and that's not leadership. Now,
exactly.
When it comes to not only being the youngest, but when it comes to being the black woman, largest black woman owned brokerage in Atlanta, how does that benefit you as a minority, as a woman? How does that benefit you?
Yeah, absolutely. It has been phenomenal. And I want to also shout out my team, because I couldn't get to this point without them. And structure is so important. So if you are a business owner, having the right structure and team in place is going to be pivotal with growth and scale. So I've built out a leadership team within my company as well. People love positions and titles. People love to feel like they are a part of something. And so I built in a leadership team that helps me not only make decisions for my company, they essentially act as my board of directors. And then I also have them act as mentors to some of the newer agents that are brought on. So now, by layering myself that way, I'm able to bring on more agents, because they're not only depending on me, but now they have a group of leaders, top producing agents, who can help them through their transactions, and I incentivize them for doing so. So I also have an associate broker that works with me hand in hand to help with the growth, the scale, the back office, compliance, and things of that nature as well. So when you talk about growing and being large, do understand that also comes with not just leading people who are agents, but it also requires leading staff. Wow. So making sure that when you're putting in your business plan, you're thinking about what positions, what does your hierarchy actually look like? Who's going to be your next hire? What are their skills? Because you can't just hire your mama, brother, cousin, sister because you want to pay them chump change. Your business will crumble if you don't have the right people in place. And so I have to shout them out, because I'm sitting in a hotel room in Miami right now, and my team and my company is running on autopilot without me there because of the structure that I've been able to put in place. So that's something, as an entrepreneur, you want to definitely make sure that you incorporate into your business. Yes, for sure.
That's good. I was introduced to you. I don't know how I saw this clip and where it came from, but I saw this clip, and it just brought me to tears, because I thought about my son. And now watch this.
Good morning, CEOs. So I'm actually at my now because he is being evaluated. It's been rough. It's been a struggle. This is something that I don't talk about often, but I wanted to share some encouraging words with parents who are dealing with young boys, especially because, as we know, our young Black boys oftentimes struggle in school. I don't know exactly what the science is behind that and why it's so common, but I want to share that you're not alone. Like, my life is not perfect. People think that, I just have it going on, which I do in some aspects. But this particular struggle for my son and I has been very, very difficult, to be honest. Even right now, as I sit in my car and I just look at his school, it makes me emotional because, no one wants their child to struggle. No one wants things to be difficult for their children, and I hate the fact that it feels like he can be looked at differently by children. So, I do the best that I can to encourage him, to keep him lifted up. But the struggle is real. It's really real.
Now, when I saw that clip, I was brought to tears. It reminded me.
I know it's about to have me crying. I'm
It
thinking about
reminded me of the time when they told me that my son had autism at the age of 3. And they set me down and they said, Pastor Allen, well, I wasn't pastor then, but Mr. Allen, your son will never do X, Y, and Z. Your son will never meet this milestone. Your son will always be like this. And with tears in my eyes, I said, thank you for giving me what you have found, but you can't tell me what my son would never do. And so when I saw that clip, it reminded me of my son and how I don't want my son to be categorized or alienated because he learns differently. And so
Yes.
talk about how you manage your household and your business and employees at the same time, because you were very vulnerable at this point and showed us the other side. You may be a boss over here, but you have your partner who's your son too as
Yes.
well, and you have to take care of business at home and make sure that he's okay outside of running a business. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Whew. That you trying to get me emotional on here talking about my baby.
We don't play on TC Allen show.
Well, we can just take it back to the beginning. When I conceived my son, I was in college. I was 20 years old when I got pregnant with my son. And that was a traumatic experience in itself. Imagine graduating high school at 18, going to college, and your second year, you get pregnant. During that experience, and I talk about this more in my book, From Broke to Broker, but I was so stressed during that time. I talk about me and my parents' relationship and how that was shattered during that time. I was in a relationship that actually broke me down. So he also had another person that was pregnant. It was just a whole lot of things going on. Needless to say, I was extremely stressed during that pregnancy. And because of that, when my son was born at 3 weeks old, he had to have half of his left lung removed. And so I was diagnosed prenatally. They let me know that something was wrong, which obviously is going to add even more stress because you don't know if your child's going to come out special needs. You don't know if there's going to be autism. You don't know what issues might arise based on what the doctors are saying. And so because of that, he has had a shorter, longer learning curve. He's always struggled in school with regard to learning. And as you get older, when you're younger, it's cute. If you stutter a little bit or you don't know how to pronounce something correctly or you're not reading things as fast as other children, it's ignored when you're younger. But as you get older and other kids notice that you're a little bit different or you're learning differently or you're not speaking as clearly or as well, then they're going to pick on you. And so that particular day, I wanted to be vulnerable to my audience because it's something I never do. And I think that there is also strength in being vulnerable. And sometimes it's okay because what you're going through sometimes you have to share in order to bless others. And so I just wanted people to know, like, I am human. I'm a mother. Yes, it's definitely difficult balancing being a mother with a child that needs extra care, so it costs extra expenses. You have to pay for tutoring. You have to pay for, Kumon. We've done all kind of sorts of different extracurricular learning opportunities for him, but you just take it all in stride. For me, I don't look at my son as a burden. I look at him as my backbone. And at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I have to do as his mother to make sure that he can be successful. And part of me doing what I have to do is teaching him that he will not have any excuse. It does not matter what the doctors say. It doesn't matter what you've gone through. You have witnessed what I've gone through. And because of that, you've been a part of this journey with me for so long, you no longer have an excuse to not be great.
That's right.
And so there are so many stories of people who were illiterate, couldn't read, write, and are successful business owners. So I don't allow it to discourage me, but I do, as you can imagine, you're dealing with it as well. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. So you just have to keep him lifted up in prayer, put him in extracurricular activities, and make sure that he's surrounding himself with other good children.
That's right. What can you say to that single mother who may be dealing with a child with disability or multiple children and really feel that she can't do it, she can't make it? Here's a young lady who has a dual MBA and you went through the rigors of real estate and became an agent. Now you have your own brokerage. What can you tell the single mother right now who says, I can't do it?
Right. And one of the things I want to also point out, and I'm not just saying this to brag, but I did get a 4.0 GPA.
I ain't mad at you. Go and brag. If I had 4.82, I'd be like, hold on. Nah, I didn't graduate at the bottom of the class. I was at the top. Let's get that right.
Listen, I have receipts. So, but I'm saying that to say that I'm on this end of the totem pole with regard to academics. I've never struggled with academics in school. So to come to now have to handle a child that struggles with academics, for a while there was a big disconnect. Because to me it was like, that's not difficult. You're not trying hard enough. You're just not, we come up with these reasons or excuses because it took me a very long time to accept the fact that my child wasn't an A student, that my child wasn't the top of his class, because that wasn't my experience.
Right.
And so to a single parent who may be dealing with that, and it's your first experience dealing with a child or anyone that doesn't understand, believe them. Before you accuse them of just being lazy or arguing or, sometimes I have to check myself because I'm so tied up in what's going on in my day. And it takes him longer to do homework. So I'll find myself being frustrated with him. Like, this is the answer. 5 plus 5 is 10. Just being transparent.
Right.
But I've learned over time that you have to be more patient, because when you're not patient with them, it causes them to clam up.
That's right.
And that's going to do nothing but make it worse, because now he has a subconscious, he's self-conscious about saying the wrong answer. So he doesn't even want to try.
Yeah.
And
you know what? I'll let you get back to explaining. What helped me is when I had a stroke. I couldn't walk, talk, read, write, or remember anything. And the Lord healed my body. And my son knew something was going on with me. And when I came home after a month being in the hospital, I had to teach myself how to walk again, how to talk again, how to read again, how to write again, and everything. And so looking at him and watching him conquer autism helped me a great deal. I even took his Hooked on Phonics to help myself read again. And so that gave me an understanding of certain things that he would go through or is going through. And so I had a better understanding of where he is because of that experience.
Yes, absolutely. And so, when I would have conversations with him, because I do talk to my son and I have real dialogue, and I'm saying, well, what can I do to be a better mother? I know I work a lot. Like, what is it that you can do? Because I know money isn't always the best fit. And one of the times we had that conversation, he was like, sometimes you yell at me for no reason, or sometimes you're mean to me when I do my work. And in that moment, I realized, like, wow, I'm really putting my stress off on him, even though he's telling me that he's struggling in school. So at that point, I'm like, listen, I'm going to get you as much help as you possibly can. I need to work on my level of patience, you know, and sometimes it takes them just telling you the truth in order for you to see, like, I'm really not playing games here. Because if you think about a child that's struggling, who wants to struggle? You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody is going to make life harder for themselves.
Right.
You got to sit there at that desk longer. You're not getting to go play a video game or whatever. Who's going to do that? You know? And so when you start to think about it in a common sense type of way, it's like, you know what, there actually is something going on here. And so just getting more involved in school, making sure that his parents know that I am. So parents, this has been what has helped us in the school system. Me showing up, me being present, me taking meetings with them and not just waiting for them to call me, but I'm calling them. When can I come in and check on the progress of Destin's grades? When can we sit down and go over what, you know, what's going on? Because he's never had a behavior issue. All of his teachers love him with that regard, but the academic side, and I also think that has helped them to be more patient with him because he's such a well-mannered child. So it's like you have to also play to their strengths. And I'm like, academics may not be his strengths, but my son loves nature. He loves animals. I know that he's probably going to be a tree hugger somewhere barefoot in the wilderness one day. I don't know. That's probably going to be what he, but I'm like, you better make a business out of it.
I'm almost sure his mother gonna find a way for him to get the bag by tree hugging.
And everyone has their strengths.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Part about life.
That's absolutely right.
So just find their strengths and play to that.
That's good. That's good. Tell me about some of the collaborations that you have made earlier in your career that helped you level up, maybe as an agent or maybe get into brokerage. What collaborations gave you opportunity to level up?
I think from the agency side, collaborations with other businesses. So if you're a business owner, you want to create some type of preferred partner program and really align your business with other businesses that are close to your industry that you can refer business back and forth to. For example, I have a list of preferred partners in every industry that touches real estate, from your inspectors, your appraisers, to even the person that might clean their house before they move in. You want to attach yourself to other businesses that are complements to your business. And by doing that, you all can create an ecosystem of leads. And you can continuously lead generate with one another because you're all sharing in your different industries. So that really helps me grow quite a bit. And so when it comes to agent count, I've always been very intentional about going after agents that I knew had a presence online, that I knew could help my brand to grow. They, you know, even if they didn't necessarily close a ton of transactions yet, if I could groom them, I did my best to go after specific people to add to my team, because now I know that with their exposure and them tagging my company and being a part of it, now other agents are going to see them and be attracted to my company as well. So those were some of the strategies and tactics that I used to grow my business while also building and developing my personal brand. One of the mistakes that I made when I started my business was that I was hiding behind my logo. So I became a real estate broker at 27. So that's where that whole youngest thing comes from.
You got to pause right there. I want you to repeat that. You was hiding behind your logo.
I was hiding behind my logo.
I like that.
Yes. Because I felt like I was too young. Maybe I didn't have enough experience as some of these other big agents. And I'm like, well, why is little old me talking about opening a brokerage where these mega agents are still working for KW? But guys like, well, it doesn't matter about that. I've told you to do something and that's what you need to do. And so sometimes you have to just do it scared. So I did it scared. And now look at what I've been able to accomplish. So that has really allotted me a lot of exposure and things of that nature. So my company may not have grown as much because it wouldn't have been as attractive. You know, when you did my intro, or if I say that I have the largest Black woman-owned brokerage, or I'm one of the youngest real estate brokers in the nation, now I have your ear. So what does that do? That allows me to now be on podcasts. That allows me to now step on stages and speak to people about my background and experience, where they may not have listened had I waited until I was 33 like I am now to get started, you know?
Right.
So
right.
Sometimes your weaknesses can be your greatest strengths if you just follow God's plan.
That's good.
And just trust that it's going to land you in the right place.
That's good. That's good. Largest Black woman-owned brokerage in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Tell me, how does your brand bless people? How can your
Yeah,
brand bless
absolutely.
others? Let's talk about that, because a lot of
Yes.
people have brands, but they're not a
Mhm.
blessing. Let's talk about
Absolutely.
that.
Definitely. So my reputation is like my number one priority at all times. So always doing right by my team and others is always number one for me. But
That's
what
good.
I do at my brokerage is I do things a little bit differently. For example, you will not find another brokerage in Atlanta that has purchased investment property specifically to teach their team how to do a renovation from start to finish. That's not just helping someone, learn how to buy or sell real estate for a client. That's teaching them now how to buy and sell real estate for themselves. So now you're not only an agent on my team earning commissions, you're now an agent on my team learning how to invest in real estate for yourself and for your family and for your children's children, et cetera, et cetera. No one is teaching those strategies, especially not at the cost that they received it at. And so for me, it's about having a brokerage that's going to actually change lives for the people that entrusting their career in you. And so I take that very, very personally and seriously. So everything that I do, I try to make sure that it's in the best interest of them and it's going to help them to continue to grow and develop. Additional partnerships that they get as a benefit from me is when you talk about collaborations, I have partnered with Rap Snacks. So I'm actually in Miami right now because I'm working with the Rap Snacks Corporation. In order to, that obviously is going to have a huge impact on the brand, and building that and giving our brand more exposure means more leads for me, more leads for them as well.
Right.
So just positioning myself, I'm really big on positioning because that's what attracts more business. So part of my job is to also be out networking, building new relationships, speaking on podcasts and things like this, getting more exposure for the brand. That's one of the really most important parts of my job as being a broker.
That's powerful, powerful. I want you to watch this clip because we're going to talk about your journey. Let's look at this.
Share a moment with you all that has completely been different from any other experience that I've had in my real estate career to date. I recently lost over $50,000 in a real estate transaction that was clear to close. Y'all, I would have had over $100,000 commission week last week had this deal closed. Let me explain.
I want you to explain because I know you're winning big. I know you're the boss. I know you got it going on. I know you got a lot of people under you and you're flowing and your business doing good. But talk about the losses that taught you a lesson. Let's talk about that.
Oh my goodness. So that clip, you see, I said last week because I couldn't even talk about it with the same day it happened, TC. I'm just go ahead and tell you that.
I felt your pain because I was like, that's some pretty good money, So
yes, yes. And so for your listeners that may not know what clear to close means, is that means that there is nothing else left to do but show up at the closing table. Like, that's it. Drive to the closing attorney's office and sign your paperwork. That is the stage in which we were in this transaction. Typically, transactions fall apart at due diligence in the beginning, or maybe even when the appraisal happens or something like that. But I have never had a transaction this close at that price point not go through. On the investing side, I have, but not on the retail side. And so for me, it was like a gut punch, because even though we're taught in real estate, never count your coins before it closes, right? But I was on my way. Listen, I had my, Chanel bag was ready to go. I had, real estate property I wanted to acquire. But the lesson that I learned in that is that it reminded me to always maintain your book of business. Like, never get caught up in one deal. Don't get caught up in, okay, this is going to save me and keep me till, because what happens if that doesn't close?
Right.
Thank God I had another one that was just as much closing in 2 weeks. So having a pipeline of business is going to be essential to any business owner. It doesn't matter if you're in real estate. It doesn't matter if you sell tires for a living. You need to constantly follow up. You need to constantly figure out ways to prospect for new business so that your life is not affected. If I didn't have savings, if I didn't have other income coming in, that could have completely derailed my life.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Over $50,000 in one transaction. That's someone's annual salary. So imagine someone just going to work for 12 months and never getting paid.
Exactly. Exactly.
So preparing yourself for losses like that in this business and in entrepreneurship in general is so important. And I think that a lot of people right now, especially today, I heard a stat that said over 4 million people across the world have quit their jobs and just walked out and said, okay, I'm done. So people are quitting their jobs based on this fantasy of entrepreneurship with no plan, no preparation. That's silly. You're putting your life at risk. You're putting your livelihood at risk. You're putting your family at risk. You're putting your legacy at risk. It is nothing wrong with going after your dreams, but it is something wrong with going after it without being well prepared. And if you don't have any savings, if you don't have any income that is coming in that you know is guaranteed, then it's very unwise to just quit it based on emotions. And I find that a lot of young people especially will quit their jobs based on emotions because their manager said you're late and had an attitude with you that day. And now you want to walk out because you're like, I don't need this job. I'm about to start my t-shirt line, or I'm about to go ahead and start my rap career. Listen, Linda.
Teacher.
Even I decided to take another 2 years to pursue a higher level education in order to secure the bag on either side. So it doesn't matter if real estate doesn't work out for me, because I know that I can go into a corporate position and still make decent money until I build back up my business. So we have to start thinking in the long term and not thinking in the short term and thinking that it's just cute to be able to post on social media that I have a business. It's like, stop creating all these LLCs that don't even have business bank accounts attached to them.
Woo! Repeat that.
So,
you dropping gems tonight.
Absolutely. It's like, do you want the LLC or do you want the income? Because for me, I don't want just a ton of LLCs out there and none of them are making money. You need to focus on getting one business that's going to fund the other ideas that you have. So many people are focused on, I need 7 streams of income. How do you know you just need 7? Maybe you need 10, you need 11. It doesn't matter. But you need to first focus on that one. Have something that's going to be your bread and butter. Start taking percentages of that every month to put into that next business, and then grow the next one, and then grow the next one. So many entrepreneurs, especially first-time entrepreneurs, are like scatterbrained. Every time you see, hear, do something else on Instagram, now I want to start a business doing that. If you don't become settled and solid on what you're actually good at, master it, and then expand. So now that I've been able to be in my business now for years, I'm ready to move into having an academy. Now I can start that next thing, that next level, because now I'm solid. Now people know they come to me for real estate, but now they're going to start to slowly see that they can come to me for something else.
That's right, because you cannot give what you do not have. So
absolutely,
you have to master it first before you can give it.
Master it first, please.
That's right. That's right. That's powerful. Listen, we got to take a commercial break. We'll be back, and I want to talk about this book, From Broke to Broker. Powerful, powerful. We'll be right back. Listen, guys, stay with us. This mighty young woman of God, Denise Williams, is a powerhouse. She has the largest black woman-owned brokerage here in Atlanta, and she's the youngest to own a brokerage in the U.S. Listen, you want to have someone tune in with you. Share this feed on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I want you to make sure get your kids around. Share this with some young folk because I want them to listen to this young lady because I know what she has on the inside of her will impact them. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We have to pay some bills with our sponsors, so stay with us. We'll be back.
The formula of the best business in the world is 3 things. You may want to write them down because it's going to help you completely in your thinking of business. 3 things. Number 1, you got to be able to say, 1, I'm helping others. Because if you don't add value to others and help others, it's going to show right away. Nobody's going to want to come in with you. It's just, if there is no value for others, they're not buying it. Number 2, I'm having fun. What is having fun? That means I'm growing, I'm contributing. So if you're growing, that means you have profit. right? Contributing, you're helping others. And number 3, and I'm making a profit. Think about it. If you're just making money, but you're not having fun. If you're making money and helping others but not having fun, sooner or later you're going to say, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm just tired. I'm just feeling like I'm giving and giving and giving. You start complaining. What if you're having fun, you're helping others, but you're not making money? You guys say, what the heck is going on with this? I'm working too hard. This is like brokers. A lot of brokers, real estate agents do that. It's just, they have fun in the beginning. They feel they're learning, growing, but then at the end of the day, they say, I'm helping so many people make money and I'm not making enough. How fair is that? What if you're having fun, having profit, but you're not helping others? They will revolt against you sooner or later. So this is the perfect formula. It couldn't be any simpler.
It sucks.
Honey, ready to look at the budget?
No.
You need Cube, the first and only proactive budgeting smart spending app card combo.
So, how does it work? Please tell me it's easy.
Okay, it's easy. First, you'll connect your bank, allowing you to deposit your money. Next, you split your money into different spending cubes according to your budget, goals, and lifestyle. Cubes are like piggy banks with purpose. One for your mortgage, groceries, travel, shoes, whatever. And they all connect seamlessly to your Cube card. Don't worry, it works just like a normal card, except better. Because it puts you in control of your individual spending habits, whatever those may be.
Oh, yeah!
That one's gonna be $6,500.
Sweet. Totally within budget.
You do you, man.
How does this help me spend less, save more, and pay off debt?
Other budgeting apps fail to keep you accountable in real time. It isn't until the end of the month that you realize you overspent.
I think I overspent.
No, you did. Stop being selfish. I want more friends.
Cube helps you in real time, reminding you of your goals, allowing you to have to make a conscious choice before spending.
You know what? Never mind.
That way you can make real progress saving for what you really want.
This is so much better than shoes. Thanks, Cube.
Cube includes all kinds of other great features, like spending accountability for partners, automatic debt payoff, and access to Cube Kid cards. You'll love the ease and control. They'll love the freedom. Automate your budget, spend with purpose, pay off your debt, and save for your goals. Cube, the proactive budgeting smart spending app card combo.
And we're back with the one and only Denise Williams. Listen, you have a book out called From Broke to Broker. And as I read through the book, I was amazed by your story about your upbringing with your mother and father and your humble beginnings. And so tell us about that. I want to talk about the third chapter, Good Girl Gone Bad. I say, not my little Denise, not my little Denise. I say, not my little Denise. What the world? I say, how little sweet Denise go bad? So I said, I have to ask her. So talk about your book and that chapter. Then we go on talk about.
Yes, for sure. So the good part is really how it started. I kind of spoke on it earlier, just really having humble beginnings, very modest upbringing. I had to stop saying poor, because my parents did the best that they could. So I don't want to discredit their effort. But I was a really, really good child. I like I said, didn't struggle with academics. I was the cheerleading captain. I was the track captain. I was, in pageants, anything that I could do and put my hands on. I'm in clubs, organizations. I tried to make my parents proud. I tried to do everything that I could, not just for them, but for me too. I've always been very ambitious, even as a young child. So the reason I said went from good girl to gone bad, because it was like after leaving school, high school, being in a sheltered environment that was really focused on religion and the church. And, you know, TC, listen now, don't judge me. I grew up in the church, and it was very, very strict upbringing. You know, I'll even share this that I didn't share in the book, but one of the rules that we had in my household was that
help a Lord, help a Lord, help
the Holy Water.
Help her. Touch it, Jesus.
One of our rules was that we could not listen to any secular music in our house. And so literally we would try to sneak and watch 106 in Park and stuff like that. And then we would get caught. We would get a whooping for things like that. So just to give people an idea of like the focus in the household. So when I got to college, it was literally like, what's that song? A whole new world. It was like, what is this thing called freedom? And so I just went to parties, you know, just really indulged in whatever it was that was going on. And in the midst of that, ended up getting pregnant. And so I talk about that in my book. And that's why I transitioned from good girl gone bad. And it's not necessarily that I was bad, because I have friends that were doing way worse things than I was. But I know that I had a different destiny on my life. And God just determined that I needed to have a child to slow me down and make sure I would stay on course, because there's no telling where I would have been if I didn't have him there to keep me grounded, to keep me rooted and settled. I always felt like if I didn't have a son, I would be living in California somewhere on a surfboard or something. I don't know, just living as a free bird. So you never know what things happen in your life to help you to get to where you need to go and not where you think you want to go. And so that's how things started in transition. That's where the bad girl thing comes in, because I felt like I let my parents down in a major way. And that was the first time that it happened. And in the book, I talk about how I felt abandoned and left because my mom was so disappointed in the fact that she had put so much into me and I did something like that. And it also kind of gave me sort of distaste for religion for a certain period of time, because I felt like you chose the church family over being there for your daughter. So you were embarrassed about you know, my decision, which I understand. As I'm older now, I get it. I totally understand. It was just really out of just disappointment and hurt. But for me, going through that as a broke college student, you know, dealing with a man who was not my husband, someone who still wanted to run the streets, you know, not have any money, and going through a life-changing experience such as pregnancy was very, very challenging for me. And it was one of the darkest times that I've ever experienced to date. And so I'm grateful that we've been able to get past that. I'm grateful that I've had the tenacity.
Thank God for grace. Thank God for grace.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
we shall begin again.
Yes, yes. And, you know, I want to encourage my single mothers out there to just look at this scenario and look at the situation and know that your child's being here is still a blessing. It just means that you're going to have to work a little harder. Okay. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just may take a little bit more time because you didn't do things like you were supposed to do. And so I had to realize that and understand that, because I had the option. I was faced with a crossroad. I could have went back home and just said, forget it. I'm going to go home, have my baby, and figure it out. Or I could have took the route of wobbling my way to class and continuing to pursue my degree. So remember, I got pregnant my second year in college and I finished in 5 years. So it took me longer, but that means that for 4 years, I was a mother. Okay. So don't get it twisted. It was not easy. It was not something that I listen, please don't do that. Don't try this at home. But I think that it's important to know that you can still do it. You can still become great. You can still get to whatever it is that you choose to do, but you cannot allow that to stop you.
Right, right. Powerful. Let's talk about bet on yourself. I love that.
Yes.
And many people don't believe in themselves because of low self-esteem, because of their past mistakes, failures. But talk about that chapter where you talk about bet on yourself.
Absolutely. I want to start by saying one of my favorite mantras that I say to myself, which is, I am the best in the business. Okay, so if you're out there, I want you to say it. I am the best in the business. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter what background you have. You have to have the confidence and know that no matter how many competitors are in my industry, I'm the best. I'm the one that people want to work with because I am it. I am the one. And so it starts with the mind. Once you tell yourself and you believe in things yourself, everything else will start to follow. It goes back to me saying I used to hide behind my logo. And the reason was because my mindset wasn't right. I was focused on what I thought it might have been or how many times I might fail and et cetera, but I didn't have the confidence to know that I have what it takes to be in the rooms that I'm now in. And so confidence is going to be one of the things that takes you further than a lot of other things, confidence and relationships. And so that's definitely something that I pride myself on having. But I went off on a tangent and I forgot the question that you asked. Oh, betting on myself.
Yes, bet on yourself. That you can answer the question.
Yes. I am so passionate about that because if you don't believe in you, why should I? You cannot expect to have support from people when you don't even believe that you can be the best. When you don't even believe that you can sell this or do that. So why are you disappointed that no one's getting behind you? You know what I mean? People like to get behind champions. Are you a champion? Are you a cheerleader? You have to choose. And so betting on myself to me in that chapter was just really talking about my decision to go into partnership with someone prior to starting Williams & Co. So Williams & Co. is actually my second brokerage. The first brokerage that I had failed. Why did it fail? Because I chose to partner with someone who didn't have the same outlook on business as I did. They didn't have the same ethics. They didn't have the same work ethic. And I didn't do my due diligence the way that I should. So for entrepreneurs looking to partner, or you're like, you and your girlfriend have this really great idea, we should work together because we've been friends for 3 years. Friendship, the time in friendship and business does not always mix. Not to say that it can't work. Just make sure that whatever plan and business plan that you're putting together makes sense for you both and is not strictly based off of friendship and emotion. Make sure that it's based off of facts. Make sure that it's based off of the numbers. And also make sure that you have an exit strategy in place in case it doesn't work out. So in that particular situation, I had to exit the partnership and I ended up having to start my own brokerage anyway. And the reason that I didn't start it first by myself was because I was nervous. I didn't think that I had what it took to do it myself. And so after going through that experience and realizing like, listen, I'm actually still doing it myself anyway. I don't need someone to help me with this. But I had to go through that to prove to myself yet again that I can do it. And so everything happens for a reason, but I urge you to make sure that any business partnership that you're looking at, that you do your due diligence. Treat it like it's a marriage. Treat it like it's someone that because you are going to talk to that person every day. You're going to see them quite often. You have to like them. You need to know their credit score. You need to know what their business spending habits are. You need to know what their family values are, because all of those things play into that partnership being successful. And so now I'm 100% owner of my own company, no investors, fully just funded by Denise the broker. So TCBD talk.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, blood, sweat, and tears.
We gonna talk soon.
Blood and prayers, that's for sure. So yes, I am truly happy to have been able to make this accomplishment happen.
That's good. But you're not only CEO, but you are CIO. Let's talk about this after this clip. Girl, you busy.
All right, so Master P, why is real estate investing so important?
I mean, when you talk about real estate investment, this is the future. This is how you create wealth and build wealth. And they don't teach us that. So when you own property, you control the community.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome. And why should someone take the Buyer Block's investing course?
I mean, Buyer Block investment course is so important because the next generation, you want to know what's happening in the future. You want to be able to be a part of that and control the narrative. We talk about economic empowerment.
Absolutely.
And this is all it's about. Economic empowerment, us empowering each other, ownership. And we need to teach that to the next generation.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so excited to be a part of this project.
Yes.
We're going to turn these generational curses around and get some more ownership in the real estate space. So I'm so excited to partner with you and do that.
Buy our blocks back. That's all we got to do. We ain't got to burn them down no more. We rebuilding, buying it, owning it, taking over.
And someone made a nice little saying. They said, "Stop selling your grandma's house."
Yeah, please.
Let's keep our grandma's house in the family.
You know what I'm saying? You can at least remember her in a good way.
Absolutely.
Because that person probably worked hard.
Very hard.
To buy that property. And so even though it might not be what you think it should be, you could have that as sentimental value to say, you know what, this is where it started from. And now we buying buildings, we buying, bigger property. And you got to start from the small property.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Powerful partnership. Let's talk about Buy the Block. Don't sell your grandma's house, even though most of the grandmas that's watching, they was focused on your knee because your knee was out. But mothers, I want you to focus on buy back the block. Buy back the block. And this partnership collaboration with the one and only, you partner with the CEO of Rap Snacks, Master P.
Yes.
And that's powerful in itself. But talk about not only the collaboration partnership with him, but talk about the incubator for this Buy Our Block.
Yes. So P came up with, I call him P, Master P, came up with this concept to teach individuals. So it's a two-pronged initiative. Part of it is and it's going to be housed under the Rap Snacks Foundation. And I think you asked me a question earlier about how we give back too. So my Williams & Co. International Realty actually partners with nonprofit organizations, and we give back donations at closing to various organizations in order to give back to the community at every closing. So my agents have that option to give back. Obviously, there's tax incentives and things of that nature, but it's great to be able to help other people, not just make all this money to do things for ourselves, but how can we help other organizations?
Right.
And so the Rap Snacks Foundation is one of our preferred organizations as well. So yes, the program is geared towards young adults and trying to show them how to purchase their first property as well as purchase their first investment property.
Wait. That's powerful. Because as a young man, young woman, to be in a position to purchase your own property is powerful. Because that equity, that power, that getting your credit up and having things in place in order, which other cultures do, but in our culture, we need to cultivate that. I love that.
Yes. So that's the problem that we are facing, right? Is that in our community, we have so many individuals purchasing properties in their late 40s or their 50s. Yeah. By that time, you're no longer, if you're in a 30-year loan, you're 70, 80 years old by the time that loan is up. Right. And even if you don't make it all the way there, you're not going to be you're going to be much more risk averse. You know, if you buy a home at 45, 50, you're not thinking about how I can grow equity and sell this and move to the next property. You're like, no, this is my retirement house. I don't want no stairs. Your kids are grown. It's just a different type of mindset that goes into it. So the purpose of this course is to gear towards college students and also young adults to make sure like, hey, let's purchase your first home before you turn 35 or less so that you can actually take advantage of some of these equity benefits of home ownership. Now you'll pull money out. You can start that business that you desire, and just creating that generational wealth through home ownership. So we're going to show them how to purchase their first house and then also their first renovation property as well. And so I'm super excited to be able to partner with the Rap Snacks organization, and they've given me full creative control over this project. That's actually one of the reasons I'm in Miami with them now, just discussing the progress of it. So y'all definitely make sure y'all go and check out y'all Rap Snacks. I gotta plug the team.
We love it. We try to get more in our area. And so I'll talk to you how to do that, because we want to support our brothers and sisters in the business, because it's very difficult and hard for people like us to get on the shelf at the grocery store. And so that's powerful within itself, to teach people not only real estate, but how to get things in place when it comes to retail stores, grocery stores, things like that. That's powerful. I love that. I love that.
Yes. That's something that I've also incorporated or had conversations with them about, really ironing out a funnel of information that teaches people how to, one, create a product, so product ideation, all the way to having that product in a store, such as a Walmart or a Target, because we need more products on the shelves.
That's right.
And I mean, we have a ton of different lines that are coming out. One of them I'm super extremely excited about. It's actually a coffee brand. And it's called I Like It Black. And so you'll see more information about that coming out as well.
That's good. That's good. Well, I want to talk about what book inspired you that changed the game for you in your life. I know the Bible because I know you read the Bible. Hallelujah. But what book other than the Word of God changed the game for you?
Yes. So The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz is one of my favorite books. Like, that book is so incredible because it really made me rethink about how small I was thinking. And it's really important to just go big or go home. Like, we say that, but it's really true. Like, you can have anything in this world that you desire. And that's something that I instill in Destin. So if you can literally ask him, like, Destin, is there anything that you can't buy? I'm like, tell me one thing that you cannot buy. And he'll say, it's nothing. It's nothing that I can't have. Because I like to tell people, if you think about it, think about the absolute most expensive thing that's been created that you can think of that you can purchase, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to create a product without an end buyer in mind.
Right. Right.
These mega yachts, these super yachts, these, islands that people are buying, whatever you can think of, they're not selling it without an end buyer in mind. So for me, it's about, why not me? Why can't I be that end buyer? And so we have to start creating that thought process and stop telling ourselves that things are too expensive.
I love that because as a child coming from Detroit, Michigan on the east side, when we go to the store, in the parking lot, we get the speech. Don't look at nothing. Don't touch nothing. Don't ask for nothing because what? You ain't getting nothing.
You ain't getting nothing.
You ain't getting nothing. So that was a speech. When we went to the store, grocery store, retail store, whatever, I don't care what store it was. That was a speech. And keep your hands in your pocket because you come out with something you ain't buy, you getting toe up.
Yes,
and so I love that you changed the thought pattern of your son to let him know he can get anything he set his mind to. And so that's powerful because our minds was a condition in our culture that we ain't get nothing. So don't ask for nothing, don't look at nothing because you didn't afford nothing. But let's change our mindset, change our pattern habits, and change our future. I love that.
Yes. It goes to that book. Plug your book, that exposure. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Having that exposure, reading books, and being around other people who are high net worth individuals where it's like, whoa, wait a minute. You just paid for this like it was a bottle of water. Like, it's money out here.
It's a whole lot out here. And not only that, but God has given us the power, the anointing, the favor, the know-how, because we are here for a purpose, on purpose. To be answer to a problem. And so when we go after success, and success is my definition, I love how my mentor put it, you have to know your purpose, know what you were created to do, and then grow to your full potential to master something, and then so seize the benefit of others. Because when that's your destination to success, you can be successful always. Not about the bag, not about the status, not about anything else. It's about your purpose and being able to so seize the benefit of others. And so I love that, helping others change their mindset. I want to talk about how do you protect your brand? Because your brand is national now.
Yes.
Because all eyes are on you because you're the youngest in the game. And so all eyes are on you. How do you protect your brand? Talk to the women today because I was seeing some things with some of our young ladies and our young men where they put their brand with something else that just wasn't would damage your brand. I talk about how you protect your brand to make sure it's healthy, make sure it's integral, make sure your name carries weight behind it.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question because I think that now we're in a copycat society. So definitely look into partnering with a trademark attorney to make sure that you're trademarking your name and things of that nature. I have pending trademarks. I cannot wait till they are done because I'm so nervous with all the things that I've been able to put out. And just in business in general, I think that it's important to make sure that you're upfront, you're honest, because things like this are recorded. For example, things that you put out, it's not just about a podcast being recorded. Once you post something online, it's there forever. So just making sure that you are on the up and up with whatever that you do. We've seen in our culture so many times that people have been torn down from things that they posted years ago, that was negative, that come back and bite them in the behind because their viewpoints might have changed from 4 years ago. But don't use social media as your place to vent. Go and vent to counseling. Take up counseling. Talk to people who can really understand you. Get you a core group of friends that you trust that you can talk to, but stop leveraging social media to be that outlet. I don't necessarily, so even going back to the vulnerable post, I don't do that often. I think it's necessary, but you have to have a fine line with regards to how much of your personal life you actually put out on social media as well. And so I feel like I do a pretty good job at keeping it separate, showing you just enough to make sure you know that I'm human and I like to have fun and I let my hair down and I'm a mother, but not enough for you to come in and completely damage my reputation. But some of these things are uncontrollable, right? Like I literally just today and yesterday have 2 fake pages back to back. So this is probably number 9 or 10 fake Instagram pages that have been created with my name on it. So some things you can control, some things you can't. But
that's because you're famous. That's because you're famous. That's why. That's why. I told you. I already told you that.
But I'll take it. I'll accept it. I'll accept it. So yes, definitely having that contracts and paperwork in place. Consulting with attorneys for things that you do before you sign up to collaborate with people to make sure that your likeness is protected. I've been approached by different television shows that I'm evaluating right now, so just making sure that you read and understand contracts when it comes to exposures and brands like that. And also make sure you partner with brands that align with what your goals are. Like I wouldn't work with Rap Snacks if I didn't believe in their culture, if I didn't believe that they were actually trying to empower our community, because they do so many initiatives that I don't feel like they talk about enough. So don't just go after partnerships just because it sounds cool, but actually go after partnerships that you believe in, right, that you can stand with. And I'm going to stick beside them. Look, I'm going to stick beside them.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I know Master P has been doing some powerful things. Not just with the Rap Stack, but with a lot of things. And so he's a true boss in many different areas. Boss. People just look at him for, the rap in his past, things like that. But he's doing some awesome things in our community, for our culture. And so most definitely, that's a person to get behind and help him to really do some things in our community. That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
For sure.
That's good.
For sure. We have to do it.
Yeah, we got to do it. I want to talk about a couple things, then we're going to get out of here. I don't want to keep you long because I know you're busy and you got a lot going on. And you traveling and everything, you flying to Dubai and Florida and all that stuff. So I'm just trying to keep up. That's all. So tell me one thing. What is your God-sized vision that's bigger than your pocketbook and your network?
My God-sized vision.
You may have someone that's watching right now that want to partner with you because your pockets, your budget, your network cannot get it done, but this partnership might can. What's that God-sized vision?
I would say, I put this in my company name because I feel like it's something that can come to pass. And it is Williams & Co. International Realty, because I've never looked at myself as a local person. I am global. I am international. I am someone who can spread a lot of knowledge, a lot of love, and a lot of greatness to the world in general. So I think that every entrepreneur should look at themselves as not local, not how can I just impact Atlanta or wherever I live, but how can I impact the world? So one of the things that I want to do is open another brokerage in another country. I think that will be life-changing. One, my business is an independent brokerage. I've gone across the country and I've seen franchises in other countries, but to be able to own and manage and operate internationally, I think will be something huge and great for the culture to see, to experience, and also for us to acquire property in other areas, because there are so many different tax benefits for doing so. obviously the vacation aspect of it, but we have to stop thinking that we need to only stay in certain areas and buy property locally. We need to be buying property all across the world. So I think that would be one of my God-sized visions.
Powerful. Franchise all over the world. And
Yes.
the person that it introduced you to is doing it and can help. And we'll talk offline about that because I'm quiet about some
awesome.
things. So we'll talk offline about that. And I want you to briefly just talk about real quickly home ownership, the 203K loan plan, loans for entrepreneurs to get their first home, things like that. Talk about that briefly because we want to go into your coaching, consulting, and mentorship programs. And I know you're able to consult them on different things when it comes to what they need to do for home ownership and those who want to go to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you mentioned 2 specialized programs. Most people know about the FHA, conventional VA, and USDA loans, which are going to be traditional loans that you can get from any bank, any lender offers those loans. But the specialized loans that you mentioned, the 203K loan is a renovation loan, which is harder to acquire. So some banks do not offer this loan. But the reason that people will acquire a 203K loan is because they want to buy a property that needs a little bit of work, renovation, but they want it to be used as a primary residence. So when you're looking to purchase an investment property, typically it cannot be owner occupied when you're going through investment type of loans. But the 203K loan is more of a residential primary residence loan that allows you to renovate the property and build it into your FHA loan. So if that's something that you're interested in, I can definitely give you more information about that offline so that I don't eat up too much time talking about that. But then also the entrepreneurship loan, that loan is actually one of my top loans that I work with, especially for high net worth individuals. This loan does not require any tax returns. Essentially what they do is they take 12 months of your bank statements and they average it out, and that's what determines your approval amount. So you have to have a minimum credit score of a 660 or better, and you can put 10% down if you're 700 plus, or if you're 699 down to 660, then it's 15% down, and that's under $2 million. If you're going over $2 million, then the down payment increases to 20%. However, the beautiful thing about this program is that for entrepreneurs like you and I who may want to write off everything on their taxes, they can still do so and still acquire a home. Because what they do for entrepreneurs, they don't really allow us to buy a home if we don't have W-2s to show. So this is a workaround to individuals who have high cash but can't get traditional financing, 1, because their loan amount is too high, or 2, because they don't have the tax returns to back up their actual income. So that's another creative program that will allow entrepreneurs to purchase property at a fixed 30-year loan rate. So it's not something crazy like it's a balloon payment or adjustable rate. It's 4.5% up to 6.5% interest rate. And this program is going crazy, especially in the Atlanta market where there are so many entrepreneurs looking for financing and just cannot get approved the traditional route. So for both of those programs, definitely reach out to me because there's something that can help you get into a home without going the traditional route.
Wow. And we have to talk offline about hedge fund partnerships and commercial real estate. And my mentor, business partner, will be with us on next week, Sharif Medawar, a powerhouse when it comes to business and real estate and commercial real estate. And so, as you know, I'm introducing you to him, but we want to talk about that next level for your company. But I want to lead the people with this because I'm always looking to add value to people. But I want to leave people with this. How do you keep God first and stay grounded? And I want you to minister to the women and encourage them today because I know none of what has happened to you did not happen without God. I know God ordered your steps, like you told the story before about how you obeyed him, even though you're young, you launched out into the deep, and look at you now. And so I want you to kind of encourage them right now and tell them about how you kept God first and how He led you and how you obeyed Him and and made it to where you are today.
Absolutely. I mean, God is going to be the one that gets you over the hump. You know what I mean? Of course, you have to do the work. I've gotten the degrees, I've worked hard, I've made the relationships, but there are some supernatural things and blessings that you're going to need to be successful in business. For example, being on this podcast and meeting TC, that was something that was divine. We don't know each other from social media, brought us together. And so having different outlets like that are helpful, but God knows who to put in your life for a purpose and for a reason. And so every morning I like to pray. One of the things that I do is I pray, and I also say 10 things that I'm grateful for, because I always want to start my day with gratitude. I want to make sure that I'm setting the tone for my day, that I'm letting Him know that I appreciate Him ordering my steps for today and bringing different opportunities to me that I'm not even going to necessarily have to work for, some that I work for and some that I don't, because we all want to break, right? From time to time. Sometimes we just want the blessings to rain down on us. So really being prepared for that and setting the tone for Him to come and be a blessing in my life has really been something that has been a beautiful experience for me. And then also talking to Him. Like, I talk to God like He my homeboy. I'm like, listen, Lord, like, now you know they tried me today. I'm trying to stay professional, Jesus. You know, so just really having a real comfortable and intimate relationship with Him, because sometimes that's going to be the only person that's going to understand you. Your partner may not understand your frustration because they may not be in the same industry as you, or they're just not trying to hear it right now, or your children are acting up and you have all these different things going on. He is someone that's going to be stable. He's going to be constant. He's going to be reassuring. So you never want to let that go. You never want money or anything else to come before that relationship, because He is the one that's going to get you over those humps and hurdles and the adversity. Because I look back sometimes and I think about how I felt in those moments, and I'm like, how did I not commit suicide when I'm crying every day, depressed, don't know where my next dollar is coming from, and I'm going to be evicted with my son? How, you know, being young, you just don't know. It's so many different things that you go through, and not even just being young. As you go older and you get higher, and I deal with different devils at each new level, right? So making sure that you have open lines of communication at all times and really spending quality time with Him has been very vital in my business and in my personal life.
That's powerful, powerful. Last question, what was your greatest ROI?
My greatest ROI. I would probably say my investment in my marketing campaigns.
Okay, that's good.
The income that I've put into my marketing campaigns has really helped to propel me to make people more attracted to my brand. The photo shoots, the videos, the interviews, the conversations, that has been the most impactful for me in business. And so investing in public speaking and things like that. So I used to be so afraid to talk on camera, to talk in a microphone, to literally shake like this. Like, I did not like it at all. But when I started to become more comfortable and investing in getting better in front of the camera and speaking, I still talk with my hands a lot. I know it's probably a whole lot of hand movements in this. But marketing, number one, definitely that's going to give you your biggest return on your investment when it comes to your business, for sure.
That's good. That's good. Talk about your coaching, consulting, how they can get in contact with you and learn from you and glean from you if they want to get into the space of real estate or just business. How can they glean from you, learn from you, and be your mentee? I want them to get something from you because I know you have a lot to offer. Just not for the people with it in Atlanta, all over the country, all over the world. How can they get a hold of you?
Yes. So I have launched my CE Owner Academy, which is ceowneracademy.com. You can go there in order to learn more about my academy, which was built for first-time entrepreneurs, and also just entrepreneurs that may not necessarily be your first time, but you're still new in business and you want to scale from 0 to 6 figures plus, and you haven't been able to do that yet in your business. I want to help you, because one of the things that I didn't have was a mentor coming into this, and a lot of things that I've learned I want to share and pour back into you. All you have to do is go to that website. You can join my community for free and join our Facebook group. We're actually doing a 21-day content challenge right now to start off the next second half of the year. So you're welcome to join in on that. I'll be having an advanced membership that I'll be launching in September for my birthday. So keep an eye out for that, where I'm going to be a lot more hands-on with my mentees, and even having some face-to-face meetups and things of that nature, because I'm really ready to just pour into this next generation of business owners, because we need it. You know, we have to be the ones to change the trajectory of our, kids' futures. And so I think that we can do it together. And I'm extremely passionate about this academy. So let me also share what CE Owner actually is about, because it's like, CE Owner, what is that? It's catchy, but I don't understand. So if you look at the word CE Owner, it's CEO transitioning into ownership. If you look at the definition of CEO, it is a chief executive officer, meaning that is a employee of a company, of a corporation. So that means even if you are owning your own business and you're just the CEO, you're still operating in the day-to-day, right? So that means that when you're traveling on vacation, you're still glued to your phone, you're still glued to your laptop, you're still having to work day to day. But when you become an owner of a business, you don't have to operate in the day-to-day. You can go on vacation with your family. You have leverage. You have freedom. No one is calling Warren Buffett to come and change a light bulb. No one is calling them because they're locked out of the office door. Nobody is asking him to order printer paper, So think about what your next level in business is, and don't just be comfortable being a CEO, because we throw that word around a lot, but really let's focus on how to build up a business. Let's learn how to package it. Let's learn how to sell it. Let's learn how to franchise it. Let's think about that next level of business ownership. And that's what this academy is about.
Powerful, powerful. Thank you for your time. And thank you so
for
much
having
for agreeing to be on the show. TC Allen Live. We got to do this again, talk about some other things that I know you have going on. But before we close out, I always like for my guests to pray for the people. And I want you to pray for women and pray for them to come into their own, come into their purpose, and grow to their full potential, and eventually sow seeds that benefits others, and encourage them and pray for them that they too can make it. And we're going to end it right now. Give me a minute. I'll bring you back so you can pray and pray us out. So guys, this has been a powerful, powerful interview with my dear friend. And she is a powerhouse. As you can see, she has a lot going on. She's the CEO of her own brokerage. She's the youngest in the U.S., and she's one of the top brokerage in Atlanta. And listen, link up with her. Go to her Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube page, and link up with her. Like, tag, and share. And I want you to tell someone about her, because she has a lot of gems and jewels to give, and wisdom to share. And I want you to link up with her and her academy, because I know for a fact that when you link up with her, you will level up. You will go to the next level, and that's no cap for those who are younger. So listen, link up with her, please. Like, tag, and share, and let her know you saw her on TC Allen Live. And so listen, to next week is going to be powerful. I have my mentor business partner, Sharif Madawar, that will be with us on next Thursday at 8 p.m. He is our fund manager, and he oversees over $100 million worth of property. And he is I won't tell his business, I'll let him tell it. But he has a whole lot of money, and he's humble, and he's a man of God, and he loves to teach and to share things with other people. And so I want to show you how to partnership with him. And so on next week, be in the house and watch us live on TC Allen Live. Listen, I love you guys. I'll see you all next week. Until next week, God bless. Here is Denise Williams printing us out, and I want you to link up with her. Don't sit there and I gave you the opportunity and you said, man, I had to link up with her tonight. DM her, let her know where you saw her, and make sure that you tap in. God bless.
All right, bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, God, for this day, God. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity, for this platform that TC has set up for us to be able to share our knowledge and to pour into others and give back to our communities, God. Thank you, God, for touching his heart and his mind to allow him to build this and take the time to do this at no cost to our community, God. Thank you, God, for the opportunity to share my story. I pray, God, for the women that may be listening in, that may be feeling discouraged, that may be feeling overwhelmed, that may feel like they just don't know where to turn to or what to do, dear God, to get out of the situations that they're in, God. And I just ask that you give them the strength to just turn to you, open your word, read more of your word, God. Connect with other like-minded women that can help to pull them out, that can encourage them, God. Help me to be a blessing to some of them that may have been listening in on this interview today, God. I hope that I was able to inspire them and let them know that they have everything that they need in them to be successful and to be great, God. And know that your child is not going to be what is your burden, God, but it is going to be your backbone, God. Let that child help you. Bring them along on the process, God. People love to see that. Share your story. Don't be ashamed of the things that you've done. Don't be ashamed of your past. Don't allow that to hold you back, but instead allow that to be a lesson that you've learned and you learn from it and you move forward, God. Don't allow that to hold you back. You have what it takes in the name of Jesus. And I pray that everything that you do from here on out, you put God first, that you continue to remember him in all things, not just when times are good, not just when times are bad, but in all things, every single day, put God first. And he will direct your path, God. And I just ask and I pray for confidence over every woman that's listening in on this, God. And we stand on your word. In Philippians 4:13, you said we can do all things. You didn't say some things, God. You didn't say one or two things, God. You said all things through Christ who strengthens us, God. And I believe that. And I stand on your word, and I stand on that with the other women on this call, God. And I just ask that you just continue to watch over us, keep us safe, keep us healthy, help us to have mental health, help us to have self-care, and put ourselves first and not always putting others first, and taking care of our mind, body, and spirit. And all these things I ask in your son, Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Kid old enough for money but too young to deal with a checking account? Oh, and you don't really want to deal with cash? You need the Cube Kid Card. Reload right from your bank account, set parameters, and spend just like a normal debit card. If the card is lost, no problem. Without the app, the balance is zero. Get yours at cubemoney.io.
Are you suffering from fear and anxiety? The Allen Counseling Clinic is here to help. Our goal is to help you grow from your struggles, heal from your pain, overcome your fears, and get the relief from your anxiety. Call now, area code 424-295-6227. Telehealth is now available.
Family, is yours truly, Dr. Eddie. Listen, it's official, like a referee with a whistle. My new book, Relationship Rules, is everywhere, y'all. And I'm empowering you to build healthy relationships, but also purposeful partnerships. You can do that. I want to show you how to do that simply by going to Amazon. Go to Barnes & Noble. Go to dreddieacademy.com/book to get a signed copy. I'm empowering you to win in the areas of love, leadership, and leveraging your purpose. It's all about the book Relationship Rules, because relationship rules.
I want to share a few of the lessons that I've learned over the last 3 years in business, because one of the things that people want to know is like, okay, everybody wants to start a business, right? But you have to also be prepared for what comes with that. So I would say 3 of my biggest takeaways. The first one is that everyone that you know in the beginning when you start your business is not going to necessarily grow with you. Everybody, you know, when they when they look at you, they don't always see the future you, right? And that's okay. It's not meant for them. Your vision and your goals are meant for you. But once you start to become successful, I've learned that it's important to reevaluate some of the relationships and business partnerships that you had when you started. Everyone cannot grow with you. That's just the unfortunate truth of entrepreneurship and growth. So just keep that in mind. Protect yourself.